Hello everybody, Zeidoktor here, and this episode of the Typical Manga Review is going to be dedicated to One Piece, chapter 841, To the East Blue. And this is actually going to be a bit of a take two. I actually did a take one earlier, and didn't realize until after I'd summarized the chapter that my mic was not turned on. So, oops. Anyway, the chapter opens with Whitebeard getting his mustache eaten by goats. That is the actual cover page right here. Like, his mega manly mustache is getting pwn goated. The chapter itself opens with the Germa 6066 cooks gossiping about where they send the fancy meals they prepare every day. They wonder if it might be like there's nobody in the guest chamber, like maybe there's a foreign dignitary or some pretty young woman, but nope, it's being sent by dumbwaiter to the Sanji and the Iron Mask. They actually undo the mouse section of the mask enough to let Sanji eat during these periods of time. While he's doing all this, up above, the other Vinsmoke children are pretty much kicking ass without worrying about petty things like names, and making their father proud. It's actually quite disconcerting, actually, seeing him all happy and joyful given how he treats Sanji. He's actually giving him a hug and calling him his beloved children, so weird. Back to Sanji, at this point we go into a sort of flashback within flashback mode, as we see Sanji like cutting himself and hurting himself, doing his best to actually cook a meal by himself, which, despite rainy weather, angry dogs, and just sheer clumsiness, he takes to a medical building on that portion of the Jerema 66 castle where his mother resides. The mother's maid takes one bite, just more or less barfs skull gas. This is the best way I can describe it, because it's just so terrible. And she tries to pass off proper food as Sanji's, but Sanji's mom is not fooled for a second. She demands they eat what Sanji actually made for her. Despite how disgusting it is, and despite Sanji's own warnings about it, she still tries it and declares it tasty. Yep. So, and asks if she'll cook for him again, but as the flashback fades out, we actually see a cross as a grave, as we come back to the original flashback, where Sanji is actually practicing chef-type cutting with his bread, like how to actually cut ingredients. He actually managed to get a cookbook and tools delivered to him. This is like his first time seeing all blue. Unfortunately, whatever joy there might be involved here is cut short as the other three Vinsmoke boys find out where he is and start just beating up relentlessly. And during these incidents, after these incidents, Reiju pops up. She's like, "Don't assume I'm on your side. I'm not getting dragged into this." Even though she says that she's patching him up. She explains that the other three are their father's ideal soldiers. No emotions like pity, sympathy, or sadness. And while she's different in that respect, though they did successfully augment her body too, so she's as powerful as they are. And Reiju tells Sanji that they're about to start to climb up the red line soon to fight some wars in the East Blue. As they do, we learn exactly how Sanji got from North Blue to East Blue. Apparently, the giant snails that make up Jerema 66's castle kingdom, like Jigsaw Puzzle Kingdom, can actually climb up the red line, and it's a process that takes about 3 weeks. While this is going on, and then after yet another meeting, after it looks like they've landed, Sanji declares that he wants to be a cook, despite Reiju's protest that, "I asked you not to tell me stuff like this." In the East Blue, the kingdom they're fighting, Koja, is being attacked by Jerema 66. Sanji declares that if he can escape in the East Blue, then he'll never have to see their father again. Reiju seems sympathetic, and she has Sanji step back, and then she bends open the doors barehanded. Just she tells Sanji he won't get a second chance, so he better not screw it up. Of course, as soon as he grabs the key for his Iron Mask, he gets stopped by Judge. Sanji declares he's leaving the country and don't try to stop him. But Judge's reaction is like, "Okay, hey, you I'm not gonna stop you. Hell, I'm glad you're going. I appreciate it. I mean, I am way too soft and sentimental. I couldn't kill you even, no matter how big a failure you were, even since you were my son. But if you're gonna go off on your own, hey, I ain't gonna stop you. Take that Iron Mask key and get out of here." But do one more thing for me. Like, don't ever mention to anyone that I am your father. You are my secret shame, the black mark on my success. Do you get it? And this whole thing just pretty much gets Sanji bawling, and off to the side we also kind of overhearing this we see Reiju doing the same thing. Outside, like the Jerma ships have made landfall, and they're leaving alone the civilian ships that are on the docks. That they're just wrong place, wrong time. They're not part of their battle, so they can just leave them alone. Fortunately, that gives Sanji the opportunity to get out. Reiju tells him to get on that ship right there, stop crying, be a man, and don't ever come back. And just like Robin and Saul before them, in every sense of the phrase, she assures Sanji that the sea is a huge place, and someday he'll find people that are good to him. Now we're finally back to the present. The doctor's about to work on Sanji, but Reiju tells them to get out of her way, and she'll do it. And then she kind of berates him, like, is this how you're going to present yourself to fiancé? All you had to do was abandon your boss from a restaurant you used to work at, and all of this would have been settled. So why did you come back? Why return to a place that you never wanted to remember, Sanji? Someone does not get it. And then, we move elsewhere to the Seducing Wood, Luffy versus Cracker. It's been 11 hours since their fight began. And Luffy is, well, fat. It's like, he's all water Luffy shaped now, but even bigger because he spent the entire 11 hours eating Cracker's biscuit soldiers. Now he can't eat any more. I can't eat any more. Who asked you to eat them? Well, biscuits are food. I can't believe you just chowed through all my biscuit soldiers. You fight, then run, then eat. I'm sick of fighting you already. And then, Nami wonders if the biscuits really are infinite, but Luffy's figuring it doesn't matter because his stamina has to be. Like, that's your problem. Eat until you burst, fool, then your comrades will give up. Bring it on! I'll eat every last one, and I'm not tapping out now. I'm going to take Sanji back. And that is where the chapter ends. And first off, I want to say, I love that last page. I really do. Partly because I'm pretty sure I guessed it on some earlier review of these chapters. Just because that is such a Luffy cracked mind thing to do. It is exactly what I would have expected. And lo and behold, that is exactly what Luffy does. He eats the biscuit soldiers. We also get a little bit more of a view on Reiju, our wild card thus far. The idea with her is that she's not unsympathetic, but she does not want to get involved. She does not want to be caught up in any of this. That's definitely true when she was a girl. She was a little kid. Now, as an adult, it's probably even more true. In fact, that sentence of her at Sanji at the end makes me wonder if she even realizes what Sanji is doing. Like, all you had to do was abandon him, so why didn't you? It probably doesn't occur to him that the owner of that restaurant was her person who would be good to him, or at least the first such person. If she does find out about that, I wonder what they'll do. Or if she does come to understand that. In the meantime, it's like, let's see here, where was I gonna go with this? It sounds like the three boys really aren't gonna be, the other three brothers aren't really gonna be much except cardboard cutout villains in their own way. If they've pretty much had the sympathy and kindness like raised out of them. Of course, what that means with this is that it's probably going to be all the more satisfying when Sanji and or Luffy like just trashes these guys. My own thoughts here are like, well, we should see Sanji definitely like get back quite a bit of his own, if not from Judge, then from the brothers. I mean, that's my thinking right here. Like, if they can find some way to arrange it so Zeph is no longer in danger, Sanji is gonna just whoop ass. There is no question in my mind about that. Just a matter of reaching that point, I suppose. Yep. Meantime, though, it's like it's hard to. I'm not quite sure. This is more and more of an answering question type of thing. So, like I said, for example, we finally know exactly how Sanji got up the Grand Line. Like those snails of the Germa 66 castle ships can actually like just walk up it or climb up it rather. Not sure what the right word is for snail moving. I don't think slithering is right, but no, you know what I mean. Yep. We also see that Sanji's mother looks a lot like Reiju without the eyebrows. And she's definitely like the kind, like, not unexpectedly, she was definitely the kind type of person. she ate Sanji's like terrible food no matter how bad it was. Of course, at the same time, I can almost imagine maybe like she actually did like that kind of food. Who knows? That'd be a funny little twist to it. Of course, I can also see someone saying that Sanji is the one who responsible for ultimately killing her because of that terrible cooking. That definitely would be a blow on him. Yep. But for now, like I said, this was more of an answer to questions type of thing. So like I said, we got the end of the flashback. I will make one major prediction. Like now that the flashback is done, I expect the next few chapters to really start heating things up because that's always been the pattern for a One Piece arc. We we plot along, we enter a new place, we learn the new people, we meet the secondary cast, things start to go downhill, and then when they're at their seemingly worst, Luffy against an insurmountable foe, Brook and Pedro, who knows what's going on with them, Chopper and Carrot trapped in a mirror world, Sanji like unable to act at all. We think they're hit their darkest. We get the flashback. We learn a bit more about how we got here, and now we are all about ready to just start kicking ass. So I expect next chapter we'll see the end of the Luffy Cracker fight. Maybe deal with Brule if there's anything more to do with her. And then from there, hard to say. Like I said, we definitely got plenty of work cut out for us here. The Straw has to anyway, not us. we're sitting there reading the thing. But for now, that's where we're going to kind of cut this episode off because I think at this point it's just a matter of waiting and seeing what happens next. Not a lot for me to really get off of this with theory wise. So mostly because, like I said, this answers more questions than anything. But for now, that has been the typical manga review for One Piece, chapter 841, To the East Blue. Yep, everybody have a good time, and we'll see you next week.